Yes, yes. Welcome to the match review of round five's fixture between Grange Thistle and the Gap Ball Club. This resulted in a 6-2 win to the Grange boys with the Gap, but they were never really in it, in my opinion. They kind of shithoused a couple of goals towards the end there because of some poor and some ineffective play from us. A quick look at the statistics. We can see Danny Lloyd scored in the 5th and 33rd minutes. Benji scored in the 14th minute, I should say. Will Lutswich with a second half goal. In the 42nd minute, Isaac Pask with a barreling drive from outside of the box, and Nathan gets himself off the mark with the final game of a goal of the fixture in the 68th minute. The Gap scored in the 52nd and 65th minute. Game was effectively over to all extents and purposes. A quick look down the statistics. We can see possession favoured Grange 57-43. I was happy with how we managed possession for most of the game. I thought we moved away from that a little bit in the second half, which we will talk about more later on. We generated 29 shots on goal. There were quite a few blocked. So we had 23 shots. Took 23 shots to get our 6 goals. They had 3 shots and scored 2, which pretty much just demonstrates how they managed to score from basically opportunities, loose ball opportunities, where the ball's bounded in front of them. Obviously, there was a goal they scored on the break, which gave their striker a one-on-one opportunity with Mick, who just couldn't quite get enough of it. We won 8 corners to 3. We took 12 free kicks to their 9 and won 34 throw-ins to 19. They committed 11 fouls to our 7. We outpassed them 209 passes to 159. If we go to the key points that I've noted from this particular fixture. Now, I highlight this because I think we kind of moved away from it a little bit. Once we felt the game was in our keeping, we backed off a little bit in the intensity. I'm not going to call out individuals for this. I'll be sending messages out to everybody individually to highlight where we need to increase our physicality, especially in the middle of the pitch. Maintaining discipline, we did wobble in our discipline. We became a little more direct than we started the game. We have a pattern of play. We have a pattern of play which delivered 3 goals in very quick time. And then we started becoming a little more direct. We started going back to bad habits, dribbling a little bit more. And that's basically, honestly, we should have cut them to ribbons in the second half. We should have scored more than 3 points. They were tired. The game was very open in their back four. We should have scored more, if I'm being completely honest, if we played the way we did in the first half. Now, that's fine, but we won't be able to do that when we play stronger teams. Stronger teams will have to be disciplined in our pattern of play, in our passing, in our management of possession, and we'll also need to be disciplined in our shape, because our shape, or lack thereof, cost us the 2 goals that we conceded. We will talk about that later on. In terms of our key points in possession, passing to play through, some great examples of that in this fixture. Honestly, we cut them to pieces in the first 25 minutes of the game. We really should have scored more goals. They couldn't get out of their own half. We just cut them to ribbons. I did want to highlight we are still mastering the idea of the attacking runs and where we run. We need to have someone running at the near post, someone in the middle, and someone always needs to be cutting in to pick up the crumbs at the back post. Because quite frankly, you can just get free goals at the back post. Out of possession, 2 really big points. 1, we need to stop their attackers turning, okay? Because if they can take possession, particularly their striker, advance out of the line, receive the ball, and then turn, they can then see goal, where they can see their passes, they can identify runs, and they can play in behind us, which creates scoring opportunities for them. And we also need to just work on defending the long ball a little bit. A key component of that is going to be defending when facing your own goal. I will send a separate video out to our back 4 players because we don't need to add length to this video to cover that. So I just wanted to highlight before we go to the video footage, this is the heat map Okay, so this is the heat map of the first half. Okay, now you can see clearly we were in control of possession. The ball very rarely got over our own half, and we were creating a lot of opportunities in the central channel in their 18-yard box. When we got to the second half, things changed a little bit. I felt that we let them back in a tiny bit. Bearing in mind we're now running from left to right, fairly similar pattern, but what you can see is you can see a lot more dense red around the halfway. So it's a lot more densely red around the halfway, which means that they were getting the ball and trying to hoik it up long. You can even see this second line through here, which is the second ball where they've either played it through or they've kicked a little bit longer. But what we haven't created is as much dense opportunity in the central channel of their box. Now, I think this is a result of not managing the possession. If we manage the possession better and we control the game, we don't have to defend those long balls. And quite frankly, those long balls are a lottery, particularly when you're the under 16 age group, where you've got developing players, varying degrees of experience at the back. So the easy solution to prevent having to defend long balls is to control the ball and not give them possession, because we know what they did. Every time they got the ball, they just lumped it up. That's reflected in the possession statistics. I mean, if you have a look at the first half passing, which is here, you can see 85% in the middle, 6. So this is the first half. Second half, interestingly enough, it was actually 0 in our half. They didn't get into our half a lot because they were too busy trying to long ball it up. 91% in the middle here, because anytime we got the ball, we'd hurry into their attacking third and wouldn't value the possession as much. And they would then lump it out, and we ended up playing too much around halfway. So once again, just controlling the game. Just control the game. Let them do the running. In terms of going over to video footage, we'll now discuss some footage. I've tried to keep the length of these videos shorter because I'm aware that some of my charges have a more limited attention span than others. So, in terms of discipline, okay, I'm going to go to 61, 40, 14. And this wasn't consistent throughout the entire game, but if we have a look here, okay, we've got the ball. Now, where in the first half, we would have been much more likely to recognise that the options we had here were Zach, Isaac, that's Luke. We've got 2 midfielders here, and we've got Danny up front. The defenders are in position. So that's the marker. That's the lone striker playing cowboy up the front there on his own. Danny has a man on him. And the passing option that we select is to kick straight through to Danny. Now, Danny receives the ball, but ultimately turns it over. It's difficult to control that ball going all the way through. The preferred option, as we were doing in the first half, would be to use the width. Now, if we move to 63 minutes, there's an example of us doing this particularly well here. There we go. So we recognise the width. We recognise that we've got heaps of space out there. We're in really good position. Now, we are in control of the ball here. We've got 3 defenders in attendance. Max is out here. Francis has gone and created the width. We have Will. We have, I think that's Danny. We've got Benji on the pitch. So we're in control of all this space. Not really any danger to them counter-attacking. So here's an opportunity to just manage the possession. Francis can pass to Will. Francis can then execute a run out here. Post up, that gives a chance for Max to make a run. Okay, Max is probably going to make a run into this area. Riley's making a run across. We've got Danny in the middle. So look, we're in control of the ball. We've got the room. Then he goes out there to Will. Now in this situation, now Will tries to cut back in, doesn't quite make the most of it. Ball comes out, but as you can see, Now we've allowed him. Now we've allowed their striker to receive the ball because they're in their own third. He's receiving it in the middle of his own half. Very difficult to execute an attack from there. And as it turns out, Zach runs straight through him. Now I want you to remember that because later on, where we talk about defending the opposition striker, if he's on his own half and receives the ball and is allowed to turn, that becomes an attacking opportunity for them. Okay, so we talked about, now we're talking about, so this is 226. It's something I thought we were a lot better at in this game. So in this instance, in this, I'm hoping this is the bit. So Mal runs wider, goes very direct. Now, at this point in time, there's two defenders. You've got Luke in support. No need to be quite so direct. What I like here was I like the near post run. Okay, I like the runs that we're making here. All right, so I'll run it back a tiny bit. So Mal was all over this guy, and to be honest, it was a little bit of a mismatch. This kid wasn't particularly strong, but what I like is the runs that we're seeing emerge. So we've got these runs. So the runs that we're seeing is Will running to the back post, Nathan running to the near post, which is very important for a striker. Now it ends up being the case that no one's making a run through to the middle. Like Danny and Riley are here walking. Okay, keeper takes it, and there's a reasonable take by the keeper. He was under a little bit of pressure. All right, I might just have to let it run through. There's this irritating little drag to move icon that I just can't get rid of. Okay. Or does that work? No, because then it won't let me do it. Yeah, well one, Mac. Well one. Okay, so now that. This is good. So in this situation, I think this is what I was chasing. Apologies, guys. I just can't see the actual minute mark where I mark the tag. So in this situation, there's plenty going on. Okay, and it's very tempting for Luke to go very direct, but as we let it flow through, we've got lots of options, lots of runners coming through. So all we don't need to do is rush it. Okay, this is what we've got. We've got players flowing through, creating runs that we can make through them. It's all happening. This is the kind of stuff that we talk about a lot. So it's very, very, very promising attack, this. Now, Nathan plays the ball to Mal. Now, Mal's got two, but what's also good about this particular situation is we have Nathan who can attack the near post, Danny who can attack the middle, and we've got Riley who can bob in at the far post. So this is looking really good. Defender manages to get a foot on it, which is disappointing, but it happens. All right. So we're going to keep on with this theme. 11:01. Okay, so this is an example of someone has to get onto that back post. Somebody has to get to the back post in this because this is Will who's going to execute across, and there is no one out here to pick up what could be the easiest tap in you'll ever find. And what happens is now in this situation, if the goalkeeper misses it, okay, So in this situation, I think it might be Male who's on the left. Better positioning for you. Better positioning for you would have been out here somewhere, because you can either run in for the tap in, or if the keeper manages to effect a save but doesn't control it, you can then take a step in to get a tap in, because that's where the ball's going to bobble. If he can't quite control it, tries to save it, then it's going to be a tap in. As it turns out, the ball goes tantalisingly close to the far post. Now, if we go to 1652, a lot of this is fine-tuning stuff, because we will be playing Samford on the weekend, and I suspect that it's safe to say that they will be a stronger proposition. Now, a different situation in this instance, as we'll let it now. But I don't quite understand why you're here, Male. But we've got runners. Male, you need to be onside. You need to be in front of that guy. Then we've got Benji coming through to here. So we've got runners coming through. Ball bobbles around, but we've still got Benji's remained onside. Okay, good. Luke follows through, finds Male again. So the problem we've got here, yeah, you're trying to dribble a 4-on-1. Anyway, that's a separate that's a separate theme to what we've been talking about. I want to go to 11:45 now. This is a big no-no. Ball gets lumped up. Now their striker is about to try to win the ball. We have got defenders all around him, but no one on him. Someone needs to be right on this bloke, because if they're on him, they can affect his ability to control the ball. He manages to bring it down. We're lucky because Zach runs past him because he didn't control it particularly well, but someone needs to be on him, and then the ball probably bobbles to one of our midfielders and we can turn an attack. 23:38, I think, is an example of what we're wanting to do. Okay, so the ball's coming in. Now we're on this guy. Now I'll go back a little bit further. Okay. Now we can see at this point in time, so Zach, not Zach, Zach Mason is on this boy now. Okay. Now what that means is if he doesn't judge it, he can't drop. He can only come in. So no, puts pressure on him. And if he can't control it, which he's probably going to fail to control because he's got Zach all over his back. So if this boy does anything other than control it, if he fumbles it this way, then he's going to turn it over to us, and then we can turn. We're on the attack. Our only concern will be whether our attackers are onside. As it turns out, Zach manages to win the ball, but notice he's facing away from his goal, so he's running towards his own goal, so he can't turn and face, and we ultimately win the ball. Perfect. We'll let it roll through. Good work by Male. Yeah, probably could have found a better option there. Now, this now comes to defending late in the game when they were going the long ball. I'm going to be talking to our defenders. Well, what we will do is we will actually focus on the goal that we conceded, because it was a frustrating goal to concede. The simple fact of the matter is we will concede many more of those goals if we're not careful. Okay, so this is a long ball. So they've bombed it up. got a free kick. So this is literally just a free kick from the other side of halfway. Should be nothing happening here. Bang. So he bombs it, bombs away. There's a sole striker from the opposition here. And I think there might be someone outside of him as well. But he's out of frame. That's our centre back, and that there is also Zach. So we need to get more bodies in behind the ball. We are going to face a lot more of this stuff. We're a ball-playing side. We're getting better and better and better. We will be beating teams, and teams are going to basically going to see the long ball now. Here's a problem. And this is why I'm highlighting this particular example. Zach is the left centre back. Zach Millichet is the right back. This is your man. Francis is out there, and I think this is actually Mail who comes back to win it. Is that Mail? Who's dropped all the way back to win it. Now, the reality of the situation is this is a contested ball. This ball goes anywhere other than where we want it, and this guy has got a mile of space, okay? So we need to sort this out. Someone needs to win the ball, but as a very minimum, we need to get our shape, get our marking, then we worry about winning the ball. Now, we're just lucky Francis has cut across to chip it away, which is very, very, very good because otherwise we're in all sorts of trouble. I'm now rolling to 81.43. Now, when I highlighted this this very much also comes down to discipline because we need to make sure that we're focused and disciplined regardless of the scoreline because we're going to have tough fixtures. I suspect this weekend will be the first of our tough fixtures. You won't be able to have a breather. Okay, so the ball comes up. Now, this is defending the striker. Now, notice Zach is all over this boy. He is all over him. Oh, sorry, that's Isaac. And he wins the ball, which is great. Yeah, this is an example. Thanks for playing the advantage, Miss Referee. That wasn't very helpful at all. One thing I also wanted to highlight as a little aside with playing through, I just found this one here. There's a couple of key moments in the game I really wanted to highlight. This is something I really enjoyed. Okay, I'll go back a little bit further. Okay, so you can see we're set. Rook in the business. Luke gets it in, finds Danny. Danny wins the ball, passes it now. Look what happens here. We have this situation. What doesn't happen is everybody with a blue shirt doesn't turn and run away from the ball. Nathan drops out of the line here to receive the ball with time to turn. Okay. So this is where we need to be looking. Max spots the run, drops out, receives the ball and turns really quickly because what Riley has done, Riley has executed a diagonal run from where he was here in behind. Their line has not really done anything wrong. It's just they haven't tracked Riley's run. It's very hard to track those kinds of runs. So they've actually got a reasonably good back line on the 18-yard line. What this shows is just how potent that playing in behind, dropping out, playing in behind can be. It's a really good play from Nathan. It's exactly what we wanted when we brought him into the club. Riley manages to find the goalkeeper, unfortunately. But these things happen. Now, 16.52. I just wanted to highlight. Got this highlighted as a good run at the back post. There we go. 16.52. Must have missed that one. 22.14. Some really good work here. Yeah, just playing through them. Really good. Really, really good. Missed the last pass, but honestly, they were just chasing shadows through the middle here. We'll start. We get the ball. Goes back to Luke. Luke will find, he'll find Riley. Riley will win the ball. Now we'll win the ball in the middle of the pitch. There we go. Will wins the ball in the middle of the pitch. Really good touching. Now, in this situation, Benji's got a choice. He can either play to the left and try to play Mal through. If he had better vision or a call, he could possibly flick the ball to the centre and put Nathan through. As it turns out, just needed a final touch and we were through. But it's really good, sharp play, cutting teams to ribbons. And then 3502 was one that I wanted to highlight as well. Really good bit of counter-attacking play. Should we go back a little further than that? As we play out now. Okay. There's Zach. Now, no one's picked up Ollie. Ball goes to Ollie. He looks for the run of Luke. Bang, picks the run of Luke early. Luke advances, notices the long ball of Danny, just quite, I think he's off, well, he's ruled offside, but couldn't quite bend his run. These are opportunities that we can create from our control of the ball. All right, I'll get that out of the way. I don't want to delete it. I want to minimize it. So we'll get that out of the way there. That wraps this up, boys. I think that's probably long enough. I've been trying to make these shorter. I'll see you all tomorrow at training. I will be sending separate videos out to the backs because we need to talk more about marking at the back and defending while facing our own goal. Thank you very much. See you soon.